Hey everybody, Dogbear here back in DC Worlds Collide of another character spotlight. Today it's going to be Nightwing. This is an interesting tank character. He is a green character or agility character, whichever you want to call it. He might be one of the most underrated tanks in the game that people are just starting to catch on that you can definitely want to use. The way you want to gear him is block rate. That's pretty much what you're looking for. So if you can get a block rate set with block rate percent here, that's great. I didn't get that lucky, but you also, of course, need defense and hit points, of course, because he has a tank. But here's a little block rate on the speed set. The set itself doesn't matter. I mean, it's nice to get the block set and get the extra 10% and get even more block on him. And there's a good reason why we want all this block. It comes down to when we look at his skills. So his ultimate, he attacks the enemy the highest attack power 4 times, and he has a 60% chance to inflict stun for 2 rounds, which can be devastating. This will stun like a Constantine, a Green Arrow, even a Batman. That can be quite crippling. And then on top of that, he gives front row allies, which should be him and whoever your other tank is, firm stand. And firm stand increases his block rate by 10%, max 15% stacks. So you can see why we have some more block rate there. If you up the levels, level 2, you get 10% chance of stun per buff he has, so you want somebody buffing him. Of course, he gives himself firm stand. Once you get him up to rank 10, which is the 5 red, increases it to 2 stacks of it. And if he has 4 different types of buffs, the stun duration on top of this increases to 3 rounds. You can see how much more powerful it becomes. His basic, who cares? It just does damage. He's a tank. It's not his job. He has 2 passives. The first one is when he takes damage, he has a 10% chance to shock the damage dealer electricity for 70% of his attack power. If this damage is blocked, the chance of triggering increases to 60%. I have him at level 2, so I'm up to an 80% chance of increasing to 80% when blocking. And his damage increases to 80%, sorry. If you get him up to the rank 10, then it goes up to a 90% chance for damage and 100% when blocking. Again, why you want more block rate, do that extra damage there. And the other passive is the big one, increases his block rate by 20%, and when he blocks he gets shelter for 2 rounds. This just goes up to 25 and then 30% once you get him to rank 8 or 3 red star. And you can see shelter then reduces the damage he takes by 50%. So he's going to have a high block rate, he's probably going to have high defense and high hit points, and he's going to take that and get blocked and reduce more damage by 50%. This is what makes him so survivable and so hard to kill. Once you want him big, of course, he doesn't really do too well in the very early game. As he gets bigger, he becomes better and better. And the other nice thing is his shards. His shards you can find in the Elseworld shop. And notice you get these tokens from Elseworld. You can buy up to 8 shards a week for him. I would highly suggest using those to buy them so you can rank him up higher and get those higher levels. His renaissances are with Mr. Freeze. You get 5% hit points, 2.5% defense. Of course, you want that. Red Robin, easy character to get also. He's purple. 2.5% attack, 2.5% hit points, 2.5% defense. The only one that's kind of tricky is this last one because you need Damian Wayne, who's an epic character. So he might be a little trickier to get, but once you get him in Huntress, who's easy to get, 2.5% attack, 2.5% hit points, and another 5% defense. So as you can see, this is one of the more survivable tanks once you get him up to the higher levels, and you can get some more gear with block rate on him. Once you do that, he becomes a very hard to kill tank, especially if you start pairing him up with like a character like Kid Flash to help heal him up, Lex Luthor, if you get him to shield him and give him even more survivability. He helps activate Batman's tactical resistance, so you have Batman doing that single target, great damage, and then you have him just stunning people as well. With his stun, it's quite devastating. You can also pair him up with like Bane and have both your tanks stunning constantly. So that's the kind of teams you want to put him on, but he could be plug and play with any team just when you need a tank that can just survive, as long as, like I said, he's at higher levels. So I hope this gives you an idea of Nightwing, why he might be an underrated tank that you maybe not heard of. Like I said, the problem though is that the early game he's not as good. You do need to get him up higher. get him the stats, get him the gear. But once you do that, he's a great character. So until next time, hope this video was informative. Until we meet again.